stump me with today?
You know it. Hey guys, welcome to Picksburgh. This is Anthony, and you're joining us for ECOM and Beyond, aka the best morning show on the YouTubes. So I really appreciate everyone who's been here tailgating for us. With me as always, I have my co-host, aka the Beard, aka Nate. There he is.
You know it.
So I appreciate you being here as always, Nate. That infamous hat. Shout out to Infamous Juice. We got our very special guest today. We have the flippin' accountant, Justin. So if you guys are not familiar with Justin, I have his link in the description of this video. I suggest you go and follow him because he puts out a lot of really awesome information. And how awesome is it that we have somebody in the resale community that actually is also an accountant? You know what I mean? Like for me, like I just watching like the nuggets he put out in his accounting video was like, that was big for me because I don't know nothing about accounting, and this is my first year actually having to claim a business and actually do the paperwork for it. So I'm pumped up that you were able to come on today, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Happy to be here.
I just want to say hi to a few people. Well, we're glad to have you, man. I want to say hi to a few people in the chat. We have Johnny, Cajun Roots Reseller. Good morning, Johnny. Appreciate you being here, bud. We have Simply Dana. Hello, Dana. So nice to see you. We have Dan M., the IT man, a.k.a. the king of the meme. What is up, man? Nate has a really good meme up his sleeve for tomorrow that I think you're going to appreciate, Dan.
It's on Dan's level.
Hopefully all three of those will be in my future today, by the way, Dan. Fries, pancakes, and product. I'd be a fan of all of those things happening. Got Paul Gate City Picker in the house. What is up, my man? Good to see you. He was up late moderating a sports card auction last night. Speaking of sports cards, we have Zion Williamson's best friend in the house. What is going on, Nikki T? Good to see you. KJ in the house. Good morning to you. Appreciate you being here with them Steeler hearts. Always nice to see that black and yellow first thing in the morning. We have the ECOM mom. Watch out, folks. She will bust you with a roundhouse kick right upside the dome piece if you try getting to her billows. Tracy T's Flips in the house. Appreciate you being here, Tracy. What's going on, Scott? Appreciate you being here. Hey, it's a relative term, Scott. It's the best in my universe. How about this? It is the best 10 a.m. Eastern morning show that happens to broadcast from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the entire world.
What?
We have Uncle B, Old School Flips in the house. We have a surprise for you tomorrow, Uncle B. I can't wait to show you.
Gonna be awesome.
Yep. We have Myra in the house. Good morning to you. Appreciate you being here. Johnny says he's been doing his business taxes since 2006. It's not as hard as you think. I have someone who does it for me. That's cool.
There you go. Hire it out.
We got ATJH Travels in the house. Good morning. Fellow Pittsburgh YouTuber. Money for Mars in the house. Appreciate you being here. Yes, absolutely. We finally got some nice weather going on out here in Pittsburgh.
All right.
Dana, what is up? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. I think I said hello to everybody. If I missed anyone, feel free to say something in chat, and I will for sure greet you. But yeah, today I'm really excited to have Justin on. I've been watching his channel for a little while, and he, you know, I always really like to see people that share things that they're doing on Amazon because it's so rare to find, you know, outside of like Bearded Picker and, you know, like his circle, it's so rare to find like really good, useful information on Amazon. You know, I found that recently with Buffalo Picker and Glass City as well. But I've really enjoyed watching a lot of the content that you put out in regard to Amazon. But for anybody that's not familiar with your channel or hasn't stumbled across you yet, do you want to give them a quick rundown of like who you are and what kind of content you produce and that kind of stuff?
Sure. So my name is Justin. I'm a CPA, which stands for a Certified Public Accountant. And I have a full-time job doing accounting. And in my part-time, I'm a reseller. I do side gigs, side hustles. I sell on eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace. I trade in DVDs to different websites, different stuff like that. And, I keep myself pretty busy. And I decided to put out content on my Instagram and YouTube, trying to help people out. I've been watching YouTube, flipping stuff for years, and I've been doing it for a few years, but just kind of took the plunge this year. So it's interesting to see how much work goes into creating a video, editing it, making it look good, and do all that stuff. So I definitely have a lot more respect for people that do this kind of stuff, like you guys, doing this all the time. It's crazy. So,
yeah, definitely. What was it that made you want to get into making the content?
I just wanted to do something different. I've had an Instagram page for a little while, and just wanted to try something different and see if I could make videos and see if I could add value and provide something that maybe somebody else isn't doing. And it's fun. It's a lot of work, but I'm just trying to do something a little different. Because I'm kind of analytical, I like to break down the costs and the fees and all that kind of stuff, because I feel like people get too focused on like the overall sales numbers and sales volumes and stuff, and they don't fully understand how many fees and expenses go into stuff. So people get a misconception that if you're selling $1,000, you're not actually making $1,000. That you have fees, right. You have all sorts of stuff to go with it. So
yeah.
I'm trying to add more of an analytical breakdown, value stuff like that, and I'm trying to do some different how-tos for stuff that I don't see that's out there. So
that's awesome, man. That's really cool. How long have you been actually reselling and doing that kind of stuff for?
So I've been reselling on Amazon for a few years now, part-time. I took 1 year. I really scaled it back so I could focus on passing my CPA exam. Because if you don't know, it's a 4-part exam, and it's extremely tough. And I discovered doing both, I couldn't put full energy into both, so I kind of cut back. But I've been reselling on eBay for 10 years plus. So I actually worked for a online auction company for a little while, which was pretty neat. It's kind of like an eBay type place, but you have to go and pick it. So.
Okay. That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's really cool. Was that what originally got you into doing that kind of stuff, or were you already kind of into it before you got that job?
I was kind of already into it just because my dad kind of taught me how to do reselling and stuff like that. He was doing storage unit auctions before, Storage Wars was a thing and all that kind of stuff. And those are a tremendous amount of work too. If you guys haven't done those, or if you have, you already know that it's a lot. But so I helped him with that for a while, and then I worked for an auction company, and then I moved and been doing online sales ever since.
Awesome, man.
It's awesome that you.
How long did you? Good.
It's awesome to see someone that resells, that does accounting, because accounting for reselling business is different than your average business. So for you having that type of knowledge and then being in that field, you're almost like a diamond in the rough of an accountant in a way, because you can't go just to anybody as a person having a reselling business. You have to make sure that they understand like the online marketplace and the accounting that goes along with it. What are a couple things that like your average accountant wouldn't know of something resale related, like with that you would know? In other words, like what advantages would you be able to help someone like that?
Okay. Well, because I've actually sold on the platforms, like I've been selling on Amazon and eBay, I have a better understanding of how the system works, the kind of fees that they charge, and somebody that's been doing someone that's been doing accounting or taxes for like 20 or 30 years might not be up on all of the laws in every state, or in their state in regards to online sales.
Right.
So over the past couple of years, more and more states are enacting like marketplace laws where they're making the platforms responsible to, collect the sales tax and remit that for you. But that wasn't always the case the past few years. You actually had to collect it and remit it if you were over a certain amount,
right,
in sales. And most people don't know that. So, I mean, if you're not keeping up with your sales and where you're registered and all that kind of stuff, you could have a tax bill in another state and you might get a letter and say, well, hey, I didn't know about this. Well, ignorance isn't a defense, unfortunately. But yeah, since I've been on the platforms, I have a pretty good understanding of what it costs. And then, there's a lot of deductions and expenses that we have as online sellers that not everybody thinks about. And that's another thing that I try to focus on too is, you've got shipping fees, monthly fees, home office expense. Some people are afraid to take the deduction. There's a lot of different things that you can claim as a reseller, as a merchant, that not everybody thinks of.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome to like even get that, the mindset of there's basic things like even monthly bills that you're paying right now that you can even write off as business expense that maybe you don't even think about, like just talking to Nate when he was doing his taxes and he was telling me some things he was writing off. I was like, man, like, my wife did her taxes already and she like filed like single for like a higher rate or something like that. And she didn't really want to like get mixed in, like, since now I have business taxes and stuff like that I have to deal with and stuff like that. So, yeah. But she didn't even factor in a lot of the things that she probably could have written off, being that, she does travel for part of her job as well. Like, cause she does, she's a hospice nurse full time, but then on the side, she's also a home health care nurse. So she does travel to like different homes and she has to like, take people to appointments and all kinds of different stuff. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that she probably left on the table, so it's always good to really take a good inventory of all the things that, you use for your business, you know what I mean? Like part of your electric bill, or, you know what I mean? You can write off a portion of your home if it's used solely for the operation of your business. It's just gas mileage. Like there's so many different things, that we're basically leaving money on the table for. So that's why I really appreciate somebody that has a great mind for these things, being able to share that, especially if you're like me and you've been procrastinating taxes this year. Because it's like almost June and I still haven't done them, and they were originally due April 15th. So, so I'm really glad that you're on today.
Yeah, we're kind of living in unprecedented times with everything going on. But if you haven't done your taxes, you can still file them before the extended due date and not have to pay any additional fees and stuff like that. But it would be in your best interest, I guess, to get them filed sooner rather than later. But everyone needs this extra time. We're just going through weird times right now.
Yep, and I do want to just give a quick shout out to Kelly Hip Flippin Mama. Myra just dropped a link in the chat. She has a jewelry auction tonight, and her stuff is so pretty it'll make you smile. So if you would, make sure you're subscribed to Hip Flippin Mama. 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. She has her jewelry auction, and I promise you, everyone that leaves there is shining. That was from Moana, in case you didn't know.
I was like, I didn't know that one.
You didn't? Like, for real? You have little kids? You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that one.
Well, now you know. You don't know, now you know. Eric Bischoff's in the house. What up, man? Eric wants to know, has the retirement funding been extended to July 15th for 2019?
You mean
that?
contributing to IRAs. I can look it up real quick. There might be something on the IRS website about it, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Billy Picker's in the house. Good to see you, my man. Good morning, Kim. Appreciate you being here. We got the King of Clubs with us. What is going on, Casey? He says, I write off everything, even the dog and his food. I take pictures in the grass that he poops, and that fertilizes to make green. Good for photos for golf clubs. That's awesome,
cool,
man.
I don't know if that would really work, but yeah, I would. I mean, write off stuff that is for sure not gonna have the IRS knocking at your door like, yeah, we're going to start needing to see paperwork, and I need a place to sit down and start looking over this stuff, because that is not fun.
Yeah, Scott said the best thing he did in 2019 is he hired an accountant who sells on Amazon. Very freeing. Yeah, I can imagine, man, like somebody that knows exactly what it is you do and how to get you the best rates and save you the most money. That would definitely be beneficial.
That's what I'm doing for this when this year's over is taxes. I'm going to go and hire somebody and just be all hands off of it and not have to worry about it, because just like the Flippin' Account said, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that maybe I don't know. I'm pretty good with the taxes. My parents have went through a business, and I've went up to since I was 5 years old all the way up till now, of course. And I've learned a lot of stuff, like can you get written off, what not. So I do have some pretty advanced knowledge of it, more than I would say the average person. But still, there's probably stuff like new stuff and other things that have been changed, or maybe I could take more advantage of that. I'm not doing. So overall, not only that, but having somebody professional, you protect yourself, and freeing myself to go out and make more money. I can go to Target or Walmart or wherever else and make $500, $600, $700 on a shopping trip, and have that person do my taxes, where sourcing is way more fun than having to do taxes. You know what I mean? So I'd rather just pass it off.
Frank's write me off. Gate City Picker has a question for you. He said, maybe you already answered this, but does he do accounting privately or for a company?
So I don't do it privately. I work for an organization, but I'm thinking next year I might do tax returns, stuff like that privately, like for myself, because I'm licensed. I can do that. So maybe next year I'll do that when I can kind of build up a client base. But right now I work for a organization.
Awesome.
And
what's up to Sam? Hello, thanks for joining. Ben, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I found an answer for Eric Bischoff.
Awesome.
So I did a little search, and according to the IRS, it said that the contributions for IRAs and HSAs, which are health savings accounts, for 2019 were extended to July 15th, 2020, which is also the extended filing date for the 2019 tax year as well. So according to this, it looks like you can still make contributions for your 2019.
That's awesome.
So
it's up to Brittany. As everyone knows, she's got them brands. Appreciate you bringing in, Brittany. And there was a question from, I know that Dana was asking, she says, once you file jointly, can you go back to filing single?
Yes, I believe that you can, but generally speaking, married filing jointly is going to provide you, more advantages than filing single. But, that's a preference thing. I don't think there's anything that would restrict you from filing single. It's just less advantageous than filing jointly. So, and that's usually a reason that people use for getting married is, hey, we're going to save on our taxes. We're going to be in a better tax bracket and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if that's such an excuse these days, but.
Bearded Picker says, an organization sounds like Justin is a mob accountant.
I'm sorry, can you just say company instead? Is that
let's just say he's connected.
Let's just say you don't want to go on his bad side. You might be sleeping with the fishes.
Yep, absolutely. The body count continues to add up in Justin's favor. Good morning to Candace, your best you. Appreciate you being on. If you guys aren't subbed to her, make sure you check her out. She has a really cool channel.
So with your business, like what percent's eBay, what percent's Amazon, what percent's like other stuff that you're doing?
Yeah. So lately it's been a lot of merchant fulfilled, but I'm switching back into FBA. So my business is probably 70% Amazon, 29% eBay, and 1% everything else. I do a little bit of Facebook Marketplace, and I have a Mercari account and I have an offer up. I just don't use them pretty much. But the Facebook Marketplace is good. I like to use that for like bigger stuff I don't want to ship, heavy stuff like that. Yeah. eBay I just use for like weird one-off stuff. I like to sell discontinued, hard to find products. And I had a lady harassing me last night. She was unhappy because I had the expiration date in the listing and in the pictures, and she was like, "This is expired," and I've got it listed in 3 spots. I'm just like, that's why I pointed it out, But but the majority of my business is Amazon, and it used to be mostly FBA, but because of the your restrictions we've had lately, I did a lot of merchant fulfilled. But I mean, I sell everything that I can on Amazon. I have an older account, so I'm unrestricted in Nike, Under Armour, Adidas.
That's awesome.
I have daily payouts, so like when merchant fulfill is hot and I ship everything, I can pay myself the next day and have the money back right away.
Awesome, man.
Q4 was kind of ridiculous because I'm sure my bank was like, "What's happening? You're spending money and then you're getting it the next day." And I'm like, "Well, it's okay. I'm an accountant. It's fine. Don't worry about
it." Yeah. Amanda says that Frank said that you may or may not do Joey Bada Bing's taxes. That's awesome.
Can neither confirm nor deny. So.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, like for example, like I was trying to, like we were touching on yesterday, like for me, like merchant fill was a thing that I did rarely, you know what I mean? And it was all FBA, especially because I work and I do eBay as well, and also have kids and all that stuff, so try to save as much time and be kind of hands off with the packing as much as possible. But with some of these items that I'm finding, I mean, as you're even hearing as we're doing the show, like I just went and got some stuff and selling already. Like it's almost like, with some stuff, I feel like I'm kind of forced to do merch fill because it's so hot, and the couple of days that go by that, it's shipped out and have to deal with the warehouse and all that type of stuff. That could be the difference of making an extra $5-10 or whatever the case is, depending on what the price is currently at.
Right.
Do you find yourself continuing to do merch fulfilled like that? Or are you going to eventually go back to all like FBA, or have you always done merch fulfilled?
Merchant, kind of like what you're saying on merchant fulfilled was not my focus. I would do merchant fulfilled during Q4 just to do like hot toys and action figures and Legos and all that kind of stuff that was just hot and selling quick. And I shifted to merchant fulfilled these past few months just because it was the only option. But I have my own strategy for merchant fulfilled. I like to stick with like smaller items that go into a padded flat rate mailer and then just ship them out. I've got burned on shipping bigger items for merchant fulfilled, so I don't really do that. So I think my strategy going forward is all of the bigger stuff is going to be FBA, and then the smaller stuff, I'll list it merchant fulfilled until I have time to FBA it. And that's I don't know if that's something that people do. I learned about that from an older video, and I don't know if you guys do that, but when I buy stuff, I list it merchant fulfilled. Then when I have time, I get to it, and then I ship it out. So.
Well, Kelly just said she restocked a merch fulfilled item last night. Someone came and bought all that she had within an hour. That's amazing.
Merch fulfilled?
Yeah. One of my products, I don't know what happened, but like right now I'm not running a repricer, but one of my merch fulfilled items somehow got repriced and started reselling again. So like I was pretty happy. I had like about 6 of them sell overnight. So actually I have some Amazon to ship out today, not just the stuff that's going out from the warehouse.
Nice. So are you guys like out sourcing again? Are you heading back into stores or kind of holding off or just kind of pulling from inventory?
Yeah, we're definitely sourcing. Like I haven't sourced as much lately as I normally do. Just, just because of like crazy stuff going on. Like we had our house remodeled and then we, just with the pandemic and everything like that, the holiday and everything. So I haven't been sourcing as much as I normally do, but yeah, me and Nate like pretty much sourced throughout the pandemic, pretty heavy Amazon at least, did a lot of eBay sourcing, like basically online, which was for me, that was the weird part, is doing all of my like sourcing from the internet to the internet. You know what I mean? So that was that was weird for me because I'm so used to going to garage sales and thrift stores and, finding stuff out, like picking and stuff like that. And just for 2.5 months, like that was like not an option. So switching up to the internet, I feel like it's actually made me a little bit better of a picker in a sense, where I had to become pickier about the stuff I got. And I also had to like really just search for places that I'd never searched before. So it opened up a few more options for me, I'd say, in the long run. Candace has a question. She says, what's one piece of advice you would give for somebody wanting to start Amazon? Sorry if you already answered.
Yeah, we already answered that. I'm just kidding. Is that for me or is that for you guys? I don't know.
I'm guessing that's for you. So I put in the chat, if you have questions for Justin, put them in there.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So what I would suggest is if you're starting off on selling on Amazon, a lot of people are worried about being gated in categories. And if you don't know what that means, it basically just means it's a category you can't sell in. And everybody's worried about, well, I can't sell this, I can't sell that yet. Well, my piece of advice would be sell what you can right now. Look at, there's tons of stuff you can find in a store that you're ungated for, and basically just start selling what you can now, ship on time, do a good job with the listings, make sure it's correct, build your metrics and kind of build a history with Amazon. And then over time, you'll be able to apply for new categories and you'll get ungated for new stuff. I wouldn't focus on what you can't sell. I would focus on what you can just to get going.
My thing would be to take Amazon, be super on point on everything, treat it be as like basically as strict as you can with yourself and treat it so much like a super business. You know what I mean? Like really, really be business oriented in thought, have things to in place or things where you're making good buys, where if you don't have some of these things, you could be burning a lot of money very quickly. Like there's been plenty of times talking to different people, and even with myself when I first started, I bought items that I thought this was going to be pretty good, and some of it may still be sitting. I might still have some of it back here, or maybe finally it got out of stock recently. But it's more cash. You need a lot more cash to run it, because you're buying a lot of new products. I mean, you could sell used stuff on there, but the masses go to Amazon for new stuff for the most part, and you're going to have to pay more money than you're normally used to for items. So you're going to need, the capital, and just basically just really be treat it as much as a business as you ever did times 10. You know what I mean? Like if you thought you were treating eBay as a business, just be even more harder on yourself and really be really strict with it.
Here's my advice as somebody who's considering Amazon. Find somebody that knows Amazon really well and lean on them like a crutch in the beginning. for me, like I'm full transparency. I've said it before. I would have quit Amazon if I wasn't friends with Nate and I didn't have somebody that I could like reach out to, like, hey man, am I being stupid? Is this a good thing? Or is this a bad thing? You know what I mean? And then make sure it's somebody that you can trust. That's not going to like, take your store and run, or take your products and run and stuff too. But, but there are people out there that are more than willing, like me and Nate say all the time, we'd be more than willing to take a look at something and help you out if you ever need help. But for me, as a newer Amazon seller, like I've only been selling on Amazon since October. For me, the biggest thing was having somebody who, who was able to support me in the beginning and like kind of just show me the ropes, because it's different than any other platform I've ever sold on. It really is, just like Nate was saying, like it's a lot more strict. And I saw Kelly, the ECOM mom, I believe it was her that put in the chat, there's people that can be selling on Amazon at a loss and not even know it, because, you have to factor in all kinds of different things like Amazon fees, shipping, costs you have into the item, all kinds of different things that sometimes it's not as, black and white as it is on eBay, or as easy to understand. So for me, the biggest thing is like knowing that if I get stuck on something or I'm confused, that I can just pick up my phone and like send a text message like, hey, what do I do here? So just want to encourage you guys, if you're thinking of taking the plunge but you're afraid to, just know that there's people here that'll support you and help you succeed. Like Nate says all the time, he's not going to give you the fish, but he's more than happy to teach you to fish. And I can attest to that, because I've learned to fish for myself. What's up, Kelvin? Good to see you, man.
Definitely. Because like if I gave you like a bolo, or I gave you like products to say, hey, just go get this, you're dependent on me to basically keep your business going and sourcing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So by me telling you or helping you figure out how to go find this, or what to look for, or whatever, then you're learning as you go, and then boom, the training wheels are off and you're up and running, and you could be doing better than me, or better than a lot of people, on your own. So
oh, Scott's coming our way. He says next week you can have Huntsville, because he's going to be in the Northeast pillaging.
No.
Watch out.
PA's boarded off. We have a wall. We got Trump to put that in for us.
Unless you want a Permanis sandwich, we can meet up and I'll hook you up with the Permanis.
But that's our peace offering. Do not pillage our stores for Permanis sandwich.
For sure. Brittany wants to know, what was your favorite flip to date, Justin?
Well, I guess I've got a few. I had a few in the past couple months that were pretty good, but I had one that I reluctantly purchased. I bought a comic book collection from a friend's dad, and he was an eBay seller, and he focused on Western books. I don't know much about Westerns. I don't read them or whatever, and but he was all about those. But he had thousands of comic books, and he wanted to just get rid of them. His health was declining. He's like, I just want them gone. And he's like, would you buy him? And I went over and I looked, and I said, honestly, comic books are not my thing. I don't know much about them. I'm not that interested. I was like, why don't we take him to a comic book store here in town? There's a couple comic book stores, and they'll give you a fair price or whatever. And he was like, I'm not interested. He's like, I don't like that store. He's like, they're just going to rip me off. They're going to give me nothing. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not going to give you much. I don't know what they're worth. So it was like a couple thousand, and we agreed on like $350. That's what he offered it to me, and I was like, sure, I'll take a chance. So I bought them and lugged them all here, and I filled my garage with them, and I just kind of let them sit there for a while. And then I was like, all right, it's time to sell, time to get rid of them. So I put them on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I put like $1,200 just to throw out a number, because you're going to get beat up. The price is going to come down. People are not going to pay your asking price. And I'm thinking, if I get $500-600, I'm happy with this. And I think I had a dozen people come out and look, and I never got an offer more than $400. They had an idea what they're worth, and I had the last couple to come look. They looked at it and they offered me $950 for them because they were starting a store and they wanted stock to like get started with, and they didn't, they weren't looking for the best of the best. They were like, yeah, we just need some comics to get started. They're like, this is a lot at $1 a piece. They made out, and that's what they offered. I said, sure, I guess I'll take it. So I was pretty happy with that. So that was my reluctant favorite flip that I've had lately.
That's
nice.
Awesome.
What was your favorite flip, Nate? Would it be on eBay or Amazon? I'd be curious to know that. Because if it's Amazon, you can't share it. That's fine.
Yeah, Amazon couldn't share. But eBay. Trying to think of something.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that so much. And I can't stop staring because you're handsome. That's just the way it is.
GoStareMe.com.
I would probably say like I love hearing like people,
I appreciate that, Pat. Thank you, though.
They'll tell the different stories, and like, someone who bought something for like 10 or 15 cents and made $90. Like, I always like find that like ultra interesting. You know what I mean? Because that is like the area where anybody can do this. You know what I mean? Even a beginner who has $20 in their pocket, they go to a garage sale and boom, like they find something for 50 cents or $1 and sell it for 90 or 100 or whatever the case is. So, I mean, honestly, probably my favorite flip, especially recently, would have been at the Michael Jordan Sports Illustrated that I got 94.
Yeah,
I got it for 10 cents or something, and got 90 out of it. So, I mean, that would probably go down for a little while as being one of my favorite flips, just because of Jordan. I really like Jordan. I really didn't want to sell that one, but hey, for $90, it was well worth it.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think what even would be my favorite flip, because I've sold so much different stuff. It's insane.
Like, I've never had like one of those super high dollar flips, because like it just seems like our area, like those just aren't as common. You know what I mean? Like, where you got some people's areas where, say they're in California and they're like in a high dollar area, people throw all types of stuff away all the time. You know what I mean? Like, but like in our area, it seems like everyone knows, like, hey, this is worth money. So everyone's scooping that stuff up quickly, or, they're selling it on a marketplace or something like that, versus it's out for $1, on at a garage sale or something. Like, some people get them.
So here, I guess my favorite flip, because it's something that like I've never come across again, and I was always thinking, man, I should have probably kept that. But so I was at it was the first garage sale I think I went to last year, and I roll up to this house, and it's like the nerdiest dude I've ever seen. I'm like, good, he's gonna have something like that I want. So like I get up on his porch, and it's like nothing but trash. But then like in the corner of the porch, he has it's like an R2D2. It's like it's not quite life size, but it's like a little bit smaller. And it was like robotical, like, so it like did stuff, but it was like from like I think the 80s, like right around like the Return of the Jedi era. So basically, like, the thing was like completely dirty. Like, you can tell it's been in a basement. It wasn't properly cared for. So I said, dude, would take like $5 on this thing? And he was like, yeah, whatever. So I take it home, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll just clean it up, probably keep it. And then I looked at the price, and the thing was selling between $400 and $600. And like, I was like, oh my God, like there's no way I'm keeping this thing if that's the case. So I ended up selling it to somebody in Norway for like $499. But then they paid, I think, like an extra $150 just like to get it shipped, like global shipping or whatever it was, because there's no way I was taking that thing back international, because I'm definitely not eating that. But yeah, that was probably my favorite flip. But like, a part of me is like, dang, like that thing was sweet. Should probably kept it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm a big Star Wars fan too, so like I really should merch fulfilled. You're killing it, bro.
Told you they're
Killing
probably going to
you,
be sold out before they the show's over.
That's awesome. It's a good problem to have.
All right. My mailman's going to hate me.
She wishes she would have kept all of her concert tees from the 80s. Yeah, I can imagine. I can only imagine how much that stuff would be worth now.
Do you sell a lot of Star Wars stuff?
I try to. Yeah, anytime I can get it cheap. A lot of the newer stuff's not super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, anytime I can find anything that's like worth flipping, I pick it up just because I enjoy that kind of stuff. So even if it sits there a while, I'm looking at it and playing with it. So yeah, I'll pick up pretty much anything Star Wars I can, and that's one of the categories I want to get ungated on Amazon with is Star Wars as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because my supplier sells like all the brand new like Mandalorian, Baby Yoda stuff, and I kind of want to get some for myself too. So
I don't know if you can see
Definitely,
it. I don't. I'm a little shelf back here. I've got the little Mandalorian bronze figure. I picked that up. I picked up for I think it was like $10, and it's still brand new in the package. I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to keep this. So.
Yeah, yeah, I don't blame you there. I'm the same way with some things, especially if it's something that I can't get like good money for. Like I found a G1 Optimus Prime in the bins, and it was just like it was in terrible condition. So I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to flip this and basically get nothing for it. I'm just going to keep it.
Right.
Paul had a good question. He says, I need to switch accountants. Our current one doesn't understand our business and how resellers work. What questions should I ask to judge the next one if they understand the business? That is a good question. Like basically, how can you determine if someone is definitely going to be suitable, for our type of business versus, your basic accountant, in other words?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could ask them what kind of expenses you think you could claim for the business with already knowing what you could claim, internet, phone, mileage, your subscription services, different things that go along with having your business, your shipping fees, home office expense. You could have a list of things and just kind of ask them, be like, hey, this is the type of business that I do. What do you think? What do you think I could claim or what's applicable in my business, and already have an idea of what would work, would kind of give you an idea of whether or not they're knowledgeable in the area. You could ask them a trick question if you wanted to. I mean, that's not really the most forthright or transparent way of doing it. But, as far as like getting a 1099 on Amazon or eBay, you have to meet two qualifications. I think it's 400 transactions and more than 10,000 in sales for them to like print off to send you a form. And you could ask them, be like, hey, I didn't get a form. Do I have to claim this income? So say I only did 5,000 or whatever. The answer is yes. You have to claim pretty much any income that you make reselling or side gig or whatever, because to the IRS, it's all taxable. Whether you get a form or not is irrelevant. That's just making it easier for you. But everything that you sell for your business is taxable, whether you're getting that form or not. So,
right.
Okay. Just from your opinion, being somebody who's in the accounting world, how common do you think it will be for somebody to stumble upon a accountant that fits the needs of like an online ECOM reseller?
Well,
do you think the average accountant is suited to like meet the needs of like what an average resale business would entail?
It kind of depends on what you're looking for or what you need for your business. Because if you just need somebody to like keep up with your bank accounts and stuff like that, I mean, an accountant or a bookkeeper could probably handle that stuff. If you're talking about long-term planning for your business, or if you're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars, or it's tax time, that's when somebody who has that experience or has that extra knowledge or that extra certification, they've been through that. They have to have a higher level of I don't want to say knowledge, but a higher understanding of what's required. I think it's more common, lately, just because younger people are getting their CPAs, older people are retiring. the platforms are making it easier for us, which is great, because I don't want to collect sales tax for 50 different states. I mean, if you were selling on Amazon 4 or 5 years ago, people were giving that advice. Oh, you have to register in all 50. Like, that's crazy. That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to get easier for us moving forward, because the states aren't going to lose out on that revenue. They don't want to lose out on that extra percentage or that extra tax that they can collect. So I think it'll get easier for us as time goes on, and you'll end up paying sales tax for online sales in just about every state, is my prediction. I don't know for certain, but I'd be surprised if they didn't go that way.
Yeah, we already do in Pennsylvania.
Right.
But I get people message me like every so often, like trying to get me to remove the tax from their order. Like I'm like it's actually coming from me or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the tax laws have changed over the past few years, and they're going to continue to change. It used to be you didn't have to claim sales tax in a state unless you had something called Nexus, and basically just meant like a physical presence, like if you had like a warehouse or your store or whatever. Yeah. But Amazon kind of complicates that thing, right? Like if you're sending into FBA, and I send 20 things to PA, and then they take those 20 things and then ship them to 10 different warehouses. How do I know where I have Nexus? I don't know where my stuff is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyways, that was just a long answer to say that it's going to get simpler as more states collect sales tax for us. So,
Candace was asking what area you're from. She says it's always interesting to know what people find in their area when sourcing, depending on where they're located. Sorry if you've answered this.
Yeah, so I live in the Bible Belt. Most everything's closed on Sundays. So I'm originally from Michigan, and things are very different up there right now. Their rules are pretty strict, but it's pretty loose down here, and just depends on what I'm feeling like to look for. That'll determine where I go sourcing, I guess.
What part of Michigan were you from?
It's the only state where you can hold your hand up and point where you're from. But I was from this area, kind of like the Grand Rapids area on the west side of the state.
Is that like far from Detroit?
It's a couple hours away.
Were you near Kalamazoo?
Yeah, not far from that. I know where that's at. Sure.
That's where Flippin Mama lives.
Oh, cool.
Kalamazoo.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I didn't even know there was a Kalamazoo before I met Flippin Mama. But yeah, she's like the OG.
That's kind of like a running joke. Is it's been for years that yes, there really is a Kalamazoo, because when you say it, it sounds like a made up word.
Yeah. But, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a real place.
Candace says in Western Kentucky, there's a lot of stores here still closing at 8:30 for the most part. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of stores here that are even like really opened yet in Pittsburgh. I know a lot of them are supposed to be opening for the first time on Friday. Birch fulfilled. How many more dings do you think Nate will have by the end of the show, guys?
I'm gonna say 4. He's got 4 more coming.
I'm gonna say more than that. I'm gonna say like 8 minimal.
See, but that's not fair. You know what your inventory is, though. We're just guessing. Nate goes, yeah, I have 8 in stock. I think I'm gonna have about 8 more.
Nate probably has 8 pending.
I got 3 pending right now, so that gets me. Yeah, we'll see if we get there. Yeah, I've been really fortunate lately, man. I'm really happy with how things are going, and even though merch field can be a pain in the butt, man, if the money's right, I'll ship out 90 something if I have to. You know what I mean? I've done it before, and it's coming at a great time too, because I just dropped all that money for a vehicle. Now, this is a good question for you. I just bought a vehicle. I paid cash. Nope.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So with me being, of course, having a business, being all legit and everything, is it better for me to purchase a vehicle outright, or should I look towards more of like a lease, or, just like making payments to the bank or whatever? What is the best way? Like,
Well, I mean,
for tax purposes?
for tax purposes, is that what
Yeah,
you're?
yeah,
Well, it just, I mean, I think it's just going to, an accountant's favorite answer is it depends. So I guess it just kind of depends on like your cash flow situation. You know, if you want to make that payment every month and then record that. But when it comes to tax time, you're either going to claim your actual expense, which would be like repairs, transmission, tires, repairs, and stuff that's broken and needs fixing, or you're going to claim mileage. And more often than not, claiming mileage is going to be the better way to go.
okay,
So I don't. I don't have a preference paying cash versus leasing a car or buying a car. I mean, I would either buy a car or I probably wouldn't lease something just because I wouldn't own it at the end of it. But that's just me thinking more like long term. I don't have anything
right,
against leasing, but I think it just depends on your own cash situation and how that's going to affect you, I guess.
right. So, like, because I bought mine outright, like I paid it in full in cash, I can either depreciate my vehicle like every year, or I can even do it like that whole amount for in 1 year, correct?
Well, I guess I don't want to ask how much it cost.
It was all in taxes and everything, 6,100.
Okay. I can look into that. I don't know off the top of my head because I don't deal with car purchases that often.
Right.
So I can look into that. I can try to find the tax code. I don't know off the top of my head. So I don't want
Okay.
to give you a guess or a wrong answer.
Right. No, I understand. We told you we'd bring you some hard questions. No, because
So-
the reason why I know that is because, like, for example, like my parents, for their business vehicles, like their actual trucks, like they actually delivered in everything. They always, did payments, not least, but got things from the bank, paid them out, and then their vehicles they would always lease, every 2 or 3 years or whatever. So I didn't know if there was an advantage for lease versus just paying out or buying it like normal through the bank and all that type of thing. That's why like I didn't. I know for them, like it was always nice for them because they got a new car every 2 or 3 years, and they always had like the newest best thing, like like with us with our phones and stuff. So for them it was always nice, and I guess because of how you write it off, like the write off, the amount is higher per month because it's a lease. So I guess the write off would be greater. You know what I mean? You get more of a write off or whatever. Or
And
whatever,
then you can upgrade every 2 years or every year or whatever it
right.
is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're buying something and then you want to write it off, you're talking about a 179 deduction. And I was just looking because I'm not sure what the limit is on that right now because they've changed it over the past couple of years. So, but I mean, since you bought it this year, and if you want to take it as a deduction this year against your sales, if you're doing really well, that might be a good idea.
Right. Yeah, I'm probably we'll have to look at that, after the whole year is over with, because I have a couple good months doesn't mean the rest of this year is going to be smooth sailing as well.
Right.
We're all going through a craziness of sorts because like the online reselling thing is something totally different than it was back in January. You know what I mean? Like everything is like all wonky. Where at this point last year we were talking about summer slowdown. This year you don't hear anybody talking about that right now. So it's pretty awesome to not have to hear about that or people like worrying about here it comes, because I know like other people like they'll do other things on top, like some people do like Instacart and DoorDash and Uber and different things like that. So hopefully they can just keep doing what they're doing with the reselling and carry them through and do that if they are doing so awesome that they want even more money. So
for sure. I've been noticing that a lot lately. you know, in our community, a lot of people doing a lot of extra side hustle-y type things, you know, whether it's like Instacart, Uber, you know, stuff like that, which is cool. You know what I mean? Because like I think a lot of us kind of got into this business as kind of a side hustle anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like keeping that mentality alive. You know what I mean? Like by any means necessary, I'm gonna get up today and I'm gonna go get that money. And that's what I like about the mentality that a lot of people have in this community, is such a hustler mentality. Like, you know what I mean? I hit up Nate this morning. The first thing he's doing, he's already on the way back from the store with a van load of stuff. I'm like, come on, man. Like I like didn't even wrap a package yet. And my man's already done wrap packages and on his way back with more inventory that it's going to need packed when he gets home. That's what's up. You know? So like, I appreciate that mentality that people have, you know, by any means necessary, I'm going to go get mine. Yeah, definitely is encouraging to me. Makes me like want to get out there and get it too.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time to have multiple sources of income, because you never know, like one of your side hustles can get cut off at the legs. And, you know, if you have other things to rely on, like, you know, I've got several sources of income. I've got Amazon, I've got eBay. I design shirts for Merch by Amazon. I was doing Airbnb. I was renting out a room in my house. I cut that off. I'm done with that for right now, at least, you know, for the foreseeable future. Merch by Amazon was turned off for like a month. Like they closed their printing presses, and they were, you know, they were like, hey, we're shut down for now. So, I mean, that was another thing that was cut off. And, you know, you just kind of have to pivot and change and refocus on Amazon and Merchant Fulfilled. And, you know, and that's just what, like you're saying, you just got to do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, like you know, we're able to shift by having those type of other options. Like, you know, like if you're say your online sales are down, or you're not just having bad luck sourcing, you can go and do these other things to make up for it. So this way, you know, your way of living doesn't have to change, where you're like, okay, now, you know, we can't go to the movies this month, or we can't do this, or, you know, whatever else. So, you know, you're able to live, you know, the same way no matter what, is because you have that income and that profit coming in from doing other things.
Mm-hmm. That's the way my wife's always been. Like, even though like we're not like wealthy, she likes to live a good life. You know what I mean? She likes to go on vacation, and she likes to do things. You know what I mean? She likes to have things. I mean, if you see my house, it's like literally like Walt Disney's like Crazy Nightmares, my house. But she's willing to go out there and hustle to get it. You know what I mean? Like she works 2 jobs, and then she does Poshmark on top of it. So I just think that's cool. You know what I mean? And like I'm the same way. Like if there's something I want, I set a goal in my mind. Like, okay, I want to go get this. I'm going to go sell this, this, and this so I can get that. You know? So it's just, you know, I really like that.
There's one more.
One more. So that's one. I'm expecting a few more here.
Yeah. I'm surprised the other 3 hasn't been kicked over yet. One's a quantity of 10, so that's awesome. It's gonna be really fun.
Dude, that's dope. So I love when merch fulfills multiple quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's even better when it's a light item and you sell 3 or 4 and you can still ship it first class, or, you know, something like that. It's like, all right, this is the way to go.
Absolutely.
Right here.
So I can't like, I swear, like every time I go out, everything is, you know, maybe 1 is first class or whatever, but, you know, I mean, like I can't find something where it's like I could fit 3 or 4 and go first class. Like it seems like all those products have just like ran away. It's like let's have Nate like super haul everything down to his basement and, you know, carry everything around. And mailman, he's probably gonna have knee surgery after going up and down my steps 9,000 times for the rest of this week.
Dude, tell him the story you told me about the one mailman, dude.
Well,
that's an epic story. The one you told me about the mailman that you hadn't seen in a while because he didn't come pick up your packages the one day.
Yeah, so I was driving to work, and if I have packages with me in that if I didn't make a pickup or whatever, if that's only a couple of things going out, I'll just take it to my way to work because I kind of drive past it. There's a post office right up the highway. We're going to my work or whatever, so I'll stop there. But sometimes I'll catch him like going down my street, and I'll hand it off to him. So I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he goes, he starts walking over to me, and he's like limping really hard. I'm like, "What is going on?" I was like, "Did you fall or something?" He goes, "I've been out for a week. My knee's been bothering me." And mind you, like the week prior was, when I shipped out 150 packages or whatever, and that one day, and I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "I don't know. My knee's starting to bother me, and I'm gonna have to get surgery done or whatever." And I'm like, "Man, I hope it wasn't from like, me, things going out or whatever." So, like, I felt bad, and he was like, "No, I think he said something like basically like, he was walking and like, how you sometimes you walk and you think your surface is level and then you kind of fall into a hole and your knee kind of like buckles." So I think that's what happened or whatever to him. But yeah, I didn't see him for a while, and he was so cool, man. Like he would. I told him I'm like, "Yeah, it's probably gonna slow down after this." He goes, "No, go sell a bunch more." I'm like, "What? Like you want to carry all these packages down to your thing?" So it's cool to have like somebody like that where like he's like basically cheering me on, even though it's going to cost him to do a whole bunch of more work because letting that USPS vehicle down my steps is a pain in the butt. But
I carried an IKEA bag up your steps, and I had to pray that I wasn't going to die. And this was carrying much more down and then back up and then back down. So Nate literally blew out this dude's ACL. That's why I just thought it was so funny when you said that. It reminded me of that story.
If I'm home, I'll help carry some down to him where he always go down a couple steps, like go up 2 steps, and I can basically reach down and hand him a bunch of stuff. So, but a lot of times he's been coming later because of like yesterday, for example, it was a 3-day weekend. So he actually took off, and I had this other mailman come, and he was trying to give my wife some excuse talking about, I don't have any room in the truck. So my wife goes down to the truck and looks. She sees 5 little boxes in the back. She goes, "No, you ain't leaving here. You're taking these packages." She tried saying, "Oh, I might be back for these." Like, no. You're not going to be back. You're coming right now and taking these things. Because I still had time.
Baseball collecting. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us.
But I still had time because they had till Tuesday or Wednesday because I have on my thing like 1-day handling or whatever. But it's just a point. We all want our stuff to get out as quickly as possible to try and get good feedback and stuff from customers and allow a little extra cushion for the postal service to deliver stuff because we all know they're a little bit behind, I think, right now than usual.
Oh, dude, I meant to ask you last night. Did you ever get those breaks in the mail?
I said I got mine. I have to ask my wife after the show.
Gotcha.
I was going to ask, are your postal workers, are they coming around twice a day? Mine are coming around twice. They come in the morning with parcels, with packages, and then they come back later in the afternoon with smaller mail, and that's when I give them my pickup stuff.
Sometimes that happen. Yeah, sometimes that'll happen. I don't know if it's more or less because I live in this really small town. It's not a lot of people. Okay. So unless they have a lot of I guess Amazon stuff or other packages they're running around with, I guess they'll send somebody out with, just one vehicle. If they have I guess basically a little bit of the heavier stuff, they'll send on a basically you're talking about a special trip type of vehicle, deliver some of them packages and maybe some other ones. So this way their routes aren't too crazy with having to carry stuff like that around. So, but that's a very rare thing for me though to see that, because he'll come super early and then like you said, they'll come the second time and just deliver the mail.
I kind of caught me off guard because they were here at 8 a.m. I was like, what's going on here? But they're just delivering. So
they don't do that around me, but that would be cool if they did.
Yeah, that's very rare.
I probably see the mail and not put anything out. I get all confused.
Now, when you do your pickups, this is for everyone in the chat too, and of course, Justin.
Sure.
Do you pick when you're doing your pickups? Do you pick that this is a business, or do you just pick residential thing? Because like I picked residential yesterday, and then after that little combatant situation, I put business today because I mean technically this is my business address, even though it's a residential area.
Right.
You know, I figured maybe this would make them have to, no matter what, come pick up my stuff or come back for it versus, oh, I'll see if I can come back type situation. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering what everyone kind of does.
I said
go
residential.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say I do residential.
I think he has a little bit of a delay. So it'll sound like it's like, you know, there's space and you guys end up talking at the same time.
Yeah, my bad, dude.
No, you're good. I'm just slow. It's all good, man. Yeah, no, I don't actually have to like schedule it online. I just give it to my postal lady when she comes to drop off my mail. I just put the flag up and she told me to hide my packages behind the bushes by my house so she knows exactly where to go. And she's real cool. She's pulls up on the driveway and she's blasting some romance novel through the speakers and she's like, "Oh, only a few packages today." I said, "Yep, here you go." So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but me and Anthony's been having some off and on bad luck. Unless it's my regular guy, like he's super cool. And you know, like at the beginning of the pandemic, like I've like given the post office, my local one, like hand sanitizer and different things to kind of help because they thought I was shipping hand sanitizer, and I was like, no, this is not hand sanitizer because it was like a smaller box. I had like 5 smaller boxes going out. So, and it was actually eBay stuff, like non hand sanitizer, of course. So they thought that that's what I'm shipping. I was like, no, that's not what I'm shipping, but do you need some? Because I just bought a couple cases. Well, back then I bought 2 cases for personal and, you know, to have some extra. And there's 2. Or no, that's 3. You know what I mean? So I actually gave them stuff, and then I actually gave them my info to have their purchaser call me so I can get some through my work and stuff to help them. And, you know, like I tried to do my part to help keep them safe and stuff like that. And, you know, then they go and do what they did yesterday. It's like, but, you know, I guess one person shouldn't be the outlook of the whole, you know, postal service or my local post office because he probably didn't even know what I did or whatever, which I don't expect like a trophy or anything, but you know what I mean? Like you would think like of all people they would pick up packages for, I'd be like a nice little star on their list.
Yeah. Unless he didn't know. I mean, I don't know. But I'd actually report my postal guy yesterday because he just left all of my packages out there and I had a whole bunch from the auction yesterday. My back.
Yeah, you were fine before too.
Okay. Yeah, on my side, like my computer went black. Sorry about that.
It's not good. It's not good, my friend. Things holding on for dear life.
I know, dude. I'm like so close to like just going and buying one, but I want to make sure I get the right computer at the right price.
I got you, man. I hand pick one. Beard approved.
Beard approved.
Yeah, it was kind of tough buying a new computer. I bought one about 6 weeks ago, and I want to go to Best Buy. Of course, it's curbside, so you have to shop online. I think they had like 4 in stock, and I was like, all right, well, you know, I picked one, and I've been pretty happy with it. But it's worth it to upgrade for sure.
Yeah, I bought an iBuy Power system, the i7, 4 gig video card, either 4 or 6. I can't remember. It might be 6. But I mean, this thing's stacked, and it was for $1,000. And you know, what I mean, this thing will definitely get some years out of it because it's way more than of course I need, that's usually what I do when I buy, because this way, that's how you get the years out of it. And not only that, like a video card helps stretch that so much more, because you're not using your resources from your onboard memory and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think that's what a lot of times people forget, like, doing editing and streaming and everything. It's so like video, memory dependent, you know what I mean? And your video card, being most of it's on board now, unless you buy something with an independent card, you know what I mean? It just sucks up your system resources so quick compared to, me having an independent card like that. So this way I get more years out of it than say like 2 years. Because I bought a laptop, I think it was right when I started reselling. And I mean, it runs okay, but now it's, it was getting to the point where, it was having little issues when you have a couple extra windows open when you're streaming and stuff. And I mean, just from doing the show and stuff, we pull out stuff all the time, like the search stuff and do different things. So it just basically kills it.
Does that take a lot of resources to do the green screen thing?
Not really.
No.
It's super, pretty much just a sheet. And then StreamYard does the rest. Unless you mean like computer bits or something.
If we were using like Streamlabs or whatever, like the OBS stuff, like that uses a ton, like way more, probably double what StreamYard does. Yeah. But with that, you can go way more, really, really awesome graphics with it and overlays and way different stuff and customize it. And that was part of the reason why I got the system I got too, because I want to start looking into doing that as like the outlook for the show and stuff. So here it is, Anthony. There's your computer. I see it right now. I see it right now.
You see it right now? What you showed to me?
Here, I'll share my screen. It's like the same one I have, but bigger, solid state.
How much is it?
$1,000 out the door. Got them beautiful RBGs.
Yeah, that's pretty nice, dude.
That process was awesome. You got 16 gigs of RAM. You got GeForce card, tons of hard drive space, and then you got the pretty lights, so you can change color like yours truly. But yeah, I mean that's what I would get. Uncle B got I think the same one. He gets his. His is actually coming in today, and he's I know he's super excited for it. That's basically the best bang for your buck for what you get.
Can you send me the link to that? I'll talk to my wife about that today.
Yeah, definitely. I'll send it right now before I forget. These have been selling out quick because they'll go into stock, out of stock.
Yeah. I'll have to definitely check that out. I just want to make sure I don't like kill my sourcing budget and everything too, Because now that I can actually start going for eBay and Amazon again, I want to make sure I can hit some stuff pretty hard and rack up some cash. To the multi-thousands.
You guys got any plans today going out sourcing?
My wife's off today, so I'm not entirely sure what my plans are yet.
Yeah, me personally, I got to work, but tomorrow's going to be a sourcing, at least a partial sourcing day at the very least. I'm going to go out to a different area for sure and grab up all the stuff that basically I've been grabbing now and hopefully get as much success as well, because I need to stack and flip as much as possible right now. My cash flow is back to bare minimum.
Yeah, that's mine's not backed up. Like I got money to like go and grab a bunch of Amazon inventory right now and some eBay stuff, but like it would be backed up if I went and dropped a stack on the computer right now. Nikki says that her and Rev are going live at 9 Eastern tonight. If anyone is interested in checking out an awesome live stream, Rev and Nikki T, you don't want to miss it. They're still looking for watch time too, guys. So if you could play their videos. Not only go watch them, but like leave them play even when you're not there. That way they can get that watch time. That'd be awesome of you guys. Myra shared our Facebook group. If you're not a part of that, make sure you go there, because that's where we can help you guys. That's where we can connect offline. Both me and Nate are members in there, so you can find either one of us in there if you want to send us messages, or if you want to share any of your finds, or if like yesterday Nate shared, everybody was tossing in their piles of orders going out and everything like that. I felt so unaccomplished next to you and Uncle B, though. Granted, I saw a lot of smalls, but you can't see the little tiny cards in that bucket, but you can see like all these big old boxes you and Uncle B had, and I just felt like such a tiny little seller compared to you two.
I think it's awesome. Like Uncle B's all was from eBay. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
eBay's a lot. It's a lot harder. So I give big props to him for sure, because I mean that's
Uncle B kills it.
That's on par with me for sure.
Yep.
It's all that
Absolutely.
lovely.
There's a lot of people out here on it, though. You know what I mean? Like that's what I love about this community, is it gives me so much motivation, and it's inspiring to see so many people doing so good, and so many people willing to share how they're doing it. So that way I can apply it to my own business and do good myself.
Exactly.
So I definitely appreciate it.
Like that's the whole reason why I showed numbers and my packages and stuff like that. It's not to show off. I'd like that. I don't get any joy in that. I just want to show others that, I'm doing this on a part-time type of level, and
right.
If I can do it, you can do it. I'm nobody special. You know what I mean? Like I'm just your average person doing it. So, you know what I mean? Like it's out there. Yeah, you just got to grow the beard. It takes about a year, but you can do it.
I think that's when I started to see success, is when I grew out the beard.
Yeah. Do you use Lion Tamer?
No.
It's an awesome product.
You know what? I wonder what benefit Lion Tamer would have to someone like me or Justin, who has like a smaller, like thinner beard. You know what I mean? Like, because for you, obviously, you have this beard that kind of needs to be like styled together, because like you probably wake up, it probably looks like you ever see one of them cats like all bushed out like I'm sure you probably wake up like with your beard looking like my hair looks right now, like all jacked up. So like I could see the Lion Tamer kind of going in and like kind of making it like form like a real nice shape. But like what would it do for like somebody like me who like this is like a peach fuzz beard compared to what you have, dude?
I mean, it would definitely moisturize your skin and keep your beard nice and healthy, so it can grow better. You know what I mean?
Nice and soft and luscious.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It smells good too, to be honest. That's one of the main reasons why I like it. That, and it's not like that's not like that oily, gunky stuff that you basically like you'll rub on your hand and it's just like literally like I felt like I touched like canola oil like or something, and it's like grease. Like that stuff's terrible. Unless that would maybe be okay for you guys because you have a smaller beard, but nothing. No way that like I hate that stuff.
You know what we should do for our 100th episode? I want to Jerry curl your beard.
Jerry curl?
Jerry curl. Like I'm talking like Coming to America, Soul Glow style. Jerry curled beard. 100th episode. We got to figure out when that is. Are you down with that, chat? Jerry Curl and Nate for our 100th episode.
I'd be all right with that.
I'm comfortable with this. I'm fine with this.
I'm all right with it.
Literally just made my life.
I mean, we got to be coming up. Actually, we're probably close to it now.
Yeah.
You figure what we've been doing it since basically the beginning of the year, roughly.
Yeah.
So it's May, and of course we only did 5 days a week. So it's got to be either we just passed it or it's going to happen here in like the next couple days.
I don't know.
I'm not sure how I stumbled onto you guys, but this has become like a morning ritual. Like even if I'm working, it's just in the background, and I'll type in the chat a couple times. But this is I'm like, oh yeah, I think it's I got to log on. I got to see what's going on. What's happening today.
I appreciate that, man.
I subscribe to you watching Scott, and I seen you in the chats. That's probably how we got together or whatever.
Yeah,
just like talking back and forth in the chats, and you subbed to me, I subbed to you, and it's kind of happened type thing. But sometimes it's crazy how things just work out sometimes,
Absolutely. And Dawn, I completely agree. She says, I have a rather interesting outlook on entertainment. Yes.
I mean, we're at the 1 hour, 20-minute mark. We didn't say Doodoo Brown yet. So
no, so somebody asked about it about a half an hour ago, and nobody called it out.
There he is. He's here.
Hey, Nikki. I do have a premiere today after the live show ends.
It comes up at 11:30, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
So
awesome.
What I would like to ask everybody, it'd be super cool if you could all jump over to Justin's channel with us right after the show to show him some support for his video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to his channel and definitely show him some love, guys. Me and Nate would really appreciate that.
I mean, dude.
Dan says, I love Anthony's ideas, right up my alley. Yes. Siosta says, 121, Doodoo Brown. Yes.
You almost went the whole show without saying it.
Yes. Siosta came in with, hey, what time was it? Did I miss it? And I typed, I said, no, not yet. She's like, oh, well, I don't want to call it out.
Jeez, way to be a super knowledgeable guest, Justin. There you go.
Thank you,
Justin's guest
for the support.
Oh, yeah, dude, anytime.
These pending ones
if
are
there's
just sitting.
If there's anything that either one of us can do to help you ever, just reach out and let us know, man. I'm a fan of what you're doing, man, and I really believe that your channel is going to grow, and it's going to be really cool, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll continue to do my best to put out some value added, content. I don't want to do the same thing everybody else is doing. I want to try to add my own spin onto it, and hopefully people get something out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
It shows you some of the Amazon side and has some accounting stuff in there. So, I mean, you honestly get a lot of stuff where people don't show or talk about. So, it's definitely not the same Amazon stuff that you see a lot of people doing or whatever. So, it's definitely worth a watch, even if you're not even doing Amazon and you're kind of on the fence, or, maybe, one day you'll be there and wanting to do it. So definitely sub to him, give him some love, and, check out his channel.
Yeah, I would definitely appreciate that, guys. Is there anything you'd want to promote before we get ready to go over to your premiere?
Not really. I've got a few ideas for videos. I've got about a list of 10 different videos that I want to come up with, but I like Nate's idea of, talking about being a part-timer, but what you're still capable of, and trying to be business focused. And, if you're doing this as a business, you got to treat it like one and take it seriously. And I've got some ideas on videos on how to help people save money on shipping supplies. What does somebody actually make when they do it part-time versus what their sales are, and I've got some different ideas. In this next video that's coming up, basically I did like a trade. I traded a Switch for a PS4 collection, and I might do some more videos like that if people enjoy it. So we'll see what happens.
That's awesome, man. Nate, is there anything you want to promote before we log off today?
Tomorrow we're going to have an exclusive birthday edition of ECOM and Beyond. So I just threw the link in the chat. Definitely check that out. Hit a reminder, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. It will be definitely an awesome time.
There's the link. I just put in the chat for Justin's premiere, guys. Like I said, we're all jumping over there right now, so I'd really appreciate you joining us. One more announcement is Hip Flippin Mama does have a jewelry auction at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you would swing by her auction and show her some love, we'd appreciate that as well. But guys, till tomorrow, take it easy.